have already lost. That's some shenanigans right there. Bruh. What is going on? What is happening? What in the literal blue hell? What the f***?
Hello Internet, Mike Byrne here from MMOBomb.com bringing you another first look video. And now it's time to duel as we take a look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, available now free to play via Steam, the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and Series S and X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and a mobile version coming soon. We're going to spend about 15-20 minutes taking a look at the game, giving you our initial impressions of the software, and if you like this type of content, make sure you click subscribe, put your comments, what you think of the game down below for your fellow duelists, click like, and of course, come on over to MMOBomb.com for more multiplayer gaming news. Now, this is a weird little first look. I'm going to roll some gameplay here while we get some formalities and some setup out of the way here so you can see what the game board and the UI look like and how fast things can move. Because playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I feel like there's one audience this will fit very, very well, and there's another audience that might not really be into what this game is for. So this is an officially published version by Konami of the popular OCG, TCG, whatever you want to call it, that you might see played or play at your local game store. And if you are looking for that so that you don't have to play via Untap or some other unauthorized or unofficial software, this might fit the bill for you. If you're a newer player, the game might not be all that friendly without some friends to help guide you along. That's not to say that there aren't tutorials in the game. There is a very basic tutorial to get you started. And then there are mini solo campaigns that will slowly start to explain some of the more advanced type of summonings available in the game for you. But it's not exactly catered to new players. You could, but I would recommend bringing a friend or doing some research outside of the game while you're getting established in the game. This video will not be a how-to-play video. It is a first look at the software. By that same token, this video will not be high-level meta, strategic, gameplay, or deck type. One, I'm a neophyte to Yu-Gi-Oh! I play many TCGs, a lot of them at the competitive level, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was never one of those for me, so I'm still learning myself. So I find myself doing things in the game, referencing outside stuff, talking to friends, and you probably will too. On the other side of this, if you are looking for a more, I don't know, nostalgic, for lack of a better term, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay, where you're getting, maybe scenarios from the cartoons way back in the day, or you're looking for like remakes of some of the old handheld stuff, or something a little more bite-sized like the Duel Links, you'll probably be better served by playing Duel Links or by playing Legacy of the Duelist, also available on Steam, although that one has a fee to get into. So this is really, hey, I want an official version of what I play at my local game store. This probably fits the bill. For those of you unfamiliar, I'm going to keep this in the most generic terms possible. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game about summoning monsters to bludgeon your opponent's life points down to 0, all while using spells, field effects, traps, things like that to set the stage and clear the board for you to be able to swing away right at your opponent's face. That's basically the 30,000-foot view of what you need to know to understand this first look. Along the way, by playing the solo campaigns available in Master Duel, you will learn the additional types of summoning monsters. It's not just about setting a monster down. That is one way, but this tutorial section, or this, it's almost like an archetype section, where these little solo campaigns take you through various deck archetypes, and you could probably use it to kind of narrow down, if you're a new player, a preferred playstyle, if you will. You're going to learn about pendulum summoning and ritual summoning and tributing cards. I mean, your XYZ summon. You're going to learn all the different ways that you can special summon monsters to the field by using these little solo campaign archetypes. And that's where the game, I think, struggles right off the bat for newer players. There's no glossary in here, and again, this is the launch software. I'm sure they're going to add stuff as we go along. They're already plugging, and there's already been leaked different events that will happen in the competitive side of things. So I'm sure this will evolve beyond what you see in this first look if you're watching this a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year down the line. But this will give you the basic idea of the board being separated into 2 fields, your hand, all the phases, the response windows are there for you to use traps or spells or activated abilities for those types of things. You will have all of those response windows available to you. The software is actually pretty good. My primary TCG myself is Final Fantasy TCG. And man, does playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel make me even more want an official version of that software, as unlikely as it is to actually happen. Now, that doesn't mean if you are a TCG player, a local TCG player, taking onto the online front here in Master Duel, that you're necessarily going to be 100% pleased with this game. As far as online PvP against opponents, you can set up matches with friends and you can custom the rules a little bit to maybe mess around with forbidden cards or limited cards, because those lists are here, although they may not be as updated as you would like, and you can set spectators and things like that. It is cross-platform, so you can have an account on Steam and then go ahead and play with some of the decks you've created, say, on your PlayStation 5. You will need to take additional steps and create a My Konami account and use the data linking or data transfer tool in the options menu of Master Duel to go ahead and link everything up. That's not necessary if you're going to play on one platform, but you will have to take those additional steps if you want to take your decks to other platforms. And there are some weird limitations here and there, usually around like the secret decks, and this will come up. I'll show you a little more about this when we get into monetization of the game. But those secret decks may be hardware specific in some instances where you have them opened on PC and they're not opened on another platform. Yeah. So there are odds and ends you should be aware of if you intend to do some cross-play, cross-save type stuff like that. But you can friend yourselves up, friend your friends up. The other online PvP is a ranking system. Now, there is no casual or anything right now, and it's all done in the context of these events through PvP with a gold pass, think of it as a battle pass, tied specifically to that online ranking play. You make progress in the gold pass via playing other players through the ranked system. There's no casual or anything like that besides setting up a match with your friends. You can't just queue up for a casual match. And that's another thing that this video is not going to commentate on, because I'm in no position to do so, and it doesn't fit a first look anyway. If you don't like the current meta of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, you may not like when you start jumping into those ranked queues. There are a lot of high combo OTK or one-turn kill decks that are just prevalent in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta right now. And for people that know those and play those, they are able to build them relatively quickly, actually, which is a plus. But a negative side, the matchmaking system really doesn't have any deck weighting against the people queuing up. So it can be a little bit new player unfriendly to just queue up and watch your opponent go to town, drop some big-ass monster on turn 1, and basically this game is over. The other not new player, but also not established player friendly thing I've noticed is the timer for the turns is excruciating right now. It's different if I'm watching somebody play solitaire, but they know what they're doing. The software will allow them to go very quickly, sometimes too quickly for a new player, in which case you'll be opening the side window, watching the history of the turn to maybe read some cards you aren't familiar with. But it also allows some extraordinarily slow play, and sometimes people are taking advantage of that, just sitting there doing nothing until their opponent surrenders. These are all things that I think will be fleshed out. Getting a casual queuing system going, getting something a little more appropriate on the matchmaking, looking at the weighting of the decks maybe, and some additional features to match up like opponents, and adjustments on the time. At least I hope these things come, because that's some of the things that I think will infuriate both new and experienced Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. So now that we've taken a look and walked through the board and what's going on and some of the initial things you need to know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, let's really dive in. And I apologize, this just isn't one of those first looks that's tailor-made for a lot of gameplay. That's why I front-loaded the gameplay footage in this first look for those of you that wanted to see how the board, the chains, the response windows, and things like that worked. Now we're going to go through a few of the menus. Now, I had already mentioned Duel, but I will show it to you. There's not much here, right? It's just the ranked Duel mode and the free Duel mode, where you can create a room and go ahead and change your occupancy, only allow friends to come in and spectate, set the limits of spectators. Do you want to allow forbidden and limited cards? Set the different life points. You can change the parameters a little bit for your custom rooms. Or Ranked Duel. And right now, it's Season 1. That's running until January 31st, at which point we'll get some type of new event or new Ranked Duel season, and an event is coming soon. So this will be a different game mode or set of rules when it actually launches. In your deck screen, this is where obviously you're going to spend an awful lot of time. Through the tutorial, you will pick up one starting deck. You are able to get the other two starting decks that you did not choose in that initial 1 of 3 choice through the solo play stuff as well. And there are sometimes decks that are available through the cash shop as like one-time bundle type things. So this is where you will build your new decks, copy from public decks, edit your existing decks, and things like that. I want to show you here, before we get to monetization, the creation of actual cards, because this works almost like most CCGs or TCGs online that you're familiar with, but it's got a wrinkle or two that you might not like, and I particularly, as a newer player, a more inexperienced player, and maybe somebody who doesn't know exactly what they want to play, I kind of didn't like this. Yes, you can open up packs to gather cards that are of varying rarities, whether normal, rare, super rare, ultra rare, uber rare if you prefer, and collect them via random packs in the game. But you can also break down cards that you have multiple copies of to create specific cards that you need. That's a good thing. And we've seen that in other games where you disenchant cards into dust and stuff like that. You can do that here. However, there's a weird limitation that I don't like, and it's by rarity. If you see at the top, there are 4 different crystal currencies, whatever you want. I forget what it's actually called. Points. Here we go. And I have 200 normal, 200 rare, 100 super rare, and 100 ultra or uber rare. So, yeah, here's where it gets a little weird. There is no mechanic for you to upgrade. And by that I mean get rid of a bunch of normals to get maybe 1 or 2 rares, or to get rid of a ton of normals and rares and make yourself one super rare. There is no upgrade mechanic there. It's not just, hey, normal's going to cost you 30 to make, and super rare is going to cost you 100 of this currency to make. It doesn't work like that. Every card costs 30 to make, but it's 30 of its specific rarity. So by dismantling a normal card, you will get 10 normal here. And if you disenchant 3 or dismantle 3 normal cards, you'll have the 30 needed to create 1 normal card. The only caveat to this is if you do have the foil version of a card, they disenchant for 15 instead of 10. So if you disenchant foils, you only have to destroy 2 to make 1. Where non-foils, you're going to dismantle 3 to make 1. But it's locked to the normal rarity. Need a rare card out there? Okay, you better dismantle some rare cards then, so that you can get the R currency at the same conversion rate. 10 for regulars and 15 for normals. 30 is the cost to create. That goes all the way up the rarity meter, even to the most rare cards. You can see the costs are the same. What this prohibits is that you can't collect through the packs, the random packs, a shit ton of normals and rares that you don't need, and just dismantle an extra few to create a one-up rarity. If you want to create an ultra rare, you have to dismantle 2 to 3, depending on if you have foil, ultra rares. So you're always giving up valuable to get valuable. You're always giving up cheap to get cheap when it comes to the rarity. There is no upgrading mechanic there. So you still got to get the rare cards, even if they're not the ones you want, so that you can dismantle them to make the rare cards that you do want. I'm not a big fan of this segregation of the rarity. I would rather the costs make a difference here, where I can just dismantle 100 normals, and maybe that gives me enough to create a super rare or an ultra rare, where it takes fewer, obviously, to create rare or normal. So a little bit of a caveat on that. Yes, you can create the individual cards you want, which is nice, but it's locked to this silly rarity locking, which means you're still going to have to get the rarity of cards that you want to create the card you want at the same rarity level. A little bit awkward, I kind of think. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Obviously, we have the solo queues that I was referencing, starting with a little quick 3-phase tutorial that you'll take right at the beginning of the game if you answer things that you've never played. And then you start working your way through what are little scenarios, basically. And they'll give you kind of like it's not a cutscene, don't expect anything fancy, it's just kind of images with some text on them for the scenario scenes. A little bit of practice that might show you how the archetype, like this particular archetype is Ruin and Demise. Those are 2 specific monsters that you will be ritual summoning in this little segment. So they'll teach you ritual summoning, how Ruin and Demise, those specific cards work, and then you'll get to challenge a duel against the AI, and you'll get some rewards for meeting the goal. There's all these little side paths, too. Don't get too locked up on these. This does look like a lot of currencies at the top. These are just orbs separated by the different elements that are available in the game Yu-Gi-Oh! And as you walk through and do the solo stuff, not only will you get the cash shop gems and currency, you'll get the occasional card unlocks, you'll get the occasional cosmetic unlocks through playing the solo mode, but you may also get these orbs. And all these orbs are used for is to break the lock in these stories. So in this particular case, this lock I've already unlocked. It required 200 of those orbs. I had them. But if we look back at a different solo campaign, perhaps Warrior... Did I finish Warriors? Let's check. No. So this one is still locked, and I need 200 of these orbs, and I have 150. So by playing other solo missions, I will get more orbs, and then I can come back, unlock this, and continue with the last 2 duels to try and win those different prizes that are locked behind them. And that's another thing that the game does really, really well, but also then starts to peter out. These solo events are going to take experienced players maybe a couple of hours, a week or so, if you're not no-lifing it about to unlock all of these things and get a ton of rewards in the process, whether that be cash shop gems or whether that be individual new cards or cosmetics. Newer players like myself, it might take you a little longer to do so. Like in this case, we would just get some orbs. They're going to give us a loner deck to play with these. But some of them will give you the option to just go ahead and pick your deck, but then you kind of lose the tutorial aspect of these things because you're not playing with the archetype that they've set forth. But there's tons and tons of prizes to get here, including cash shop currency. On that same front, you do have your missions, whether they be login bonuses like you see me claiming here for cash shop gems that do reduce over time, weirdly. Like in my brain, I kind of think that would be the other way, right? Let's give you 200 for day 1 and 1,000 for day 7. But they I don't know, they degrade over time. So I got 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 on this one, but on this login once per day, 2 of 7 so far, I got 1,000, 1,000, and then immediately starts dropping to 500. You do have spectate. You can spectate 1 for 5 gems, a couple of daily missions that will refresh over time when you've completed them, and some campaign missions as well. So there is the ability for you to generate the cash shop currency as you're playing. But if you're looking at this, you can see that does peter away over time. See, my dailies are like giving me 20 to 50. I get a ton of front-ended gems, and that is very, very generous on Konami's side. Not something, honestly, I would have given Konami credit for, probably. But now I have completed this quote-unquote unlimited mission, and so now it's done. I can't get that currency in there anymore. So it is going to peter out over time. Oh, I got a card back or a sleeve. That's cool. As far as how fast you are generating the cash shop currency. If you want to buy cash shop currency for straight cash, here are your rates. It's typically one pack is about $2, right? Because it gives you 110, 105 is what you're paying for, 5 free, and a pack is 100 gems. So about $2 for a pack, which can get a little pricey when you're doing your 10-pack draws at about $20 for a 10-pack draw. That's a little higher than I would probably like. The plus side, if you are experienced with Yu-Gi-Oh! Why can't I receive this? Not claim as your inventory has reached maximum capacity. Okay. If you're experienced with Yu-Gi-Oh!, these front-loaded gems are probably more than enough for you to get a meta deck or two or one of your favorite decks or two together. And that's really, really cool. You can just use the freebie stuff if you're careful about spending it and you save it appropriately at the beginning to just going and getting the decks that you want to build. Yes, you're at the mercy of RNG a little bit, but you can do it. You'll have more than enough gems. Over time, though, your gem acquisition really, really starts to fall as different missions and things like that just become unavailable for you to do anymore or for you to get rewards. You'll be depending on your dailies and your progress through the Duel Pass to pick up additional rewards, but the Duel Pass is only progressed when you are doing the actual PvP. So you'll have to be doing that. The normal pass is free. The gold pass is 600 gems. And yes, you heard me right. You can just use gems to buy the gold pass. So there is the ability to farm up and buy the premium pass for free. But over time, when your rewards dry up, that will get harder and harder to do. The last aspect I want to show you is the cash shop itself. And again, this is one of those split decision type things. There's the good and there's the bad. We'll come back to packs in a minute because the other menus are substantially shorter to look at. Structured deck allows you to actually buy some type of structured deck that they have in the shop at any given time. So you could buy 3 Magician of Pendulum decks for 500 a piece. And it gives you a little bit of a highlight as to what cards are in there as far as the key cards in the deck. And it does give you some notes about structured decks, talks about the limited and banned list. These are features that are on pretty much every shop window, and then shows you the actual contents. Don't expect it, obviously, to show you the actual contents of a pack. Instead of structure contents, it will show you the odds listings. So you will get a breakdown of the odds. These are just limited to 3, though. Accessories are all of your cosmetic things. You can earn some of these in the pass, some of these through solo gameplay, and then you can buy other ones here from the cash shop for gems. And these are like your mate, your little friend that sits on the board with you that you can click on and have them do different animations, what field you'll be playing on, the protector or the sleeves that you will have on your card, and then your character's icon for your banner. So you can buy some cosmetics. Not a lot in here right now. Definitely something they're going to have to improve, but there's a few in there for you right now. And then the special is the Duel Pass, which you can see I've already purchased, and some bundle deals that are available one time per player. So not, per platform, per player. So I bought the Solemn Judgment one. I haven't bought the other 2 yet. I'm probably going to pick these up. I'm just being a little careful with my gems now because I'm not experienced in Yu-Gi-Oh! Enough to know exactly what I want to play yet, and I don't want to rush my gem spends out there. When we get to the packs, though, that's where there's a little bit of a question mark for me. I like it, but I don't like it, and I want to know how you Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans feel about this. Bonus packs will be some type of legacy pack that you'll open up through gameplay or be given as a reward. I have one ticket to open up one, so we can go ahead and just open one up right on screen here and see what we get from the pack. So let's open it. And there we go. Shoot them all out. Boom, boom, 2. And we get, yay, a Poison Draw Frog and a Chrysalis Pantail. Fantastic. So there's our 2 cards. The primary spend that you'll be doing is in the normal pack category and the secret pack category. And notice there is nothing here in secret pack right now. There are a couple different normal packs you can buy, the primary being the master pack. And this details, here's all the cards included in a master pack. 6,750 different cards are in the master pack. So you can already tell, even with the odds listed here, that your odds of getting the exact card you want are not going to be great, even if 2.5, I don't think is pretty, that's not a terrible rating as far as what it could be for something like this. If you're looking for a specific ultra rare, though, things get a little hard, so it's challenging. Let's buy a pack, though, for 100 gems. And we'll go ahead and open it up, and hopefully I'll get at least a super rare so I can show you keys, which is an important feature and doesn't look like we did. So, nope, all. Yeah. All right, I guess we'll be buying another pack. Let's buy another one. We got to get a key here so I can show you what's going on with secret packs. Because this is the only way to, currently at least, to open up secret packs after you have done everything you need to do through the story. All right, so we got a super rare and we got a key. Now, here's the thing. As soon as I click OK, that key is going to be spent. I don't have the option of saving it for later, and I don't know what it's going to open. Boom. You found a new card pack. Now, it happens to be the Forgotten City. So now, if we go back to secret packs, we have Forgotten City Dwellers open, and they only cost 100 gems as well. There's no cost difference, and you can see that in the cards included in this pack, we are down to, whoops, is that the one I wanted? Yep. We can get certain cards from a certain set or a certain pack. So that's pretty nice, right? Because if I happen to pop a pack that is pertinent to the build that I want, then my odds of getting the cards that I need are substantially increased because I'm not going against the full master pack pool. The bad part of this, it's timed. So I have 24 hours, right? Where I can buy from this pack, and then that's it. It's gone, and I may not see Forgotten City Dwellers ever again unless I happen to get a key and it happens to unlock Forgotten City Dwellers. So it does kind of put you in that position, I think, of, let's say you've spent all your gems and you're at the point where it's kind of a little bit of a slow farm or a grind for you to get gems, and you're really working on a particular deck. And you've gone into your card list, and you've seen the card I need. Let me just grab a card here. Hey, this is one, I need more of this card. Well, you can get this in the Legacy pack or the solo mode. Okay, cool. So I don't have to worry about that. I can just go to the solo mode. What about this one? How do I obtain this one? Legacy pack. Unable to purchase because I haven't bought the Legacy pack. I'm trying to find one that actually has a secret pack listing on it. Ah, here we go. So the Knight of the Morning Star is in the Master Pack, but it's also in the Cosmic Mechanical Entities, which I don't have unlocked. And I can't trigger when to have it unlocked because it's random when I open and get a key from a Master Pack. So it kind of puts you in this weird position of, like, rushing you. And if you don't happen to have the gems on hand, but you did unlock the pack that is most beneficial for you to open, you better put out some cash now so that you can go ahead and open those up. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. And you might think the packs are, I think they are, a little bit expensive when you're talking about like $18 to $20 for a 10-pack pool. To me, that should probably be around $13, $15, but maybe you Yu-Gi-Oh players will feel different. So all in all, I've got to say, it does a great job, I think, but it's not quite there yet. I think longtime local store TCG players are probably really going to like where it's headed, even if they don't like some certain things that it does right now or some certain things that are missing right now. And that timer, God, that has got to be fixed. But setting that aside, as a newer player, you definitely want to come at this with friends. You definitely want to be a little stingy with your gems until you're able to do research or talk with friends to find out the best way to acquire the cards you want. And if you're looking for something a little slower, a little more casual, this just isn't it yet. With only the ranked match, as you saw poor Martz at the beginning of the video, there's a lot of one-turn kill going on, a lot of OTK, and for newer players, the software doesn't exactly teach you how to play in a really great way. Let me know what you think, though. Are you a longtime Yu-Gi-Oh player and this is exactly what you've been waiting for so you can get your ass off of Untapped or Octagon or whatever you may be using? Or is this doesn't fit the bill for you either? Are you newer and loving this? I gotta say, as a newer player, I am enjoying it, but it certainly has helped being a TCG player for a while in a bunch of other games and getting acclimated to this one. Although the ranked system does kind of, make me want to flip the table from time to time. This has been Mike Byrne, though, from MMOBomb.com saying, hope you like this first look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. You can get it now for free. Until next time, gang, stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.